undefeated lightweight contender, no longer a prospect, fresh off a dominating second-round knockout of Manuel Leyva just a couple weeks ago, 16 days ago. Very impressive. Like I said, without further ado, the Lion, Sharif Bogere. What's up, Sharif? How you doing, bro?
Not much, brother, man. How you doing?
Very good, man. It's long overdue. Been wanting to get you on the show for a while now. It's just, a lot of things going on. But as I mentioned, it's like this, man. I followed your career since the first time you fought, I think, in Nevada. The first time you fought, I believe it was like your third fight, you fought in Prim, Nevada. And I remember from that point on, I've seen you fight in the Las Vegas area, over a handful of times after that way. But, tell us about that, man. You coming up, coming out from Uganda. How did you arrive in Las Vegas? How did that all work out? How did you hook up with Jimmy Alex? You were an outstanding amateur, top on your Ugandan team. How did that all come about when you coming into Las Vegas?
Yeah, actually, when I was still back in Uganda, Jimmy, he used to have a fighter named Juco, Justin Juco. I don't know if you remember him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Juco, he introduced me to Jimmy Alex. So when I came here in the U.S., I got in touch with Jimmy Alex.
Now going in with that, you started out. I think your first fight wasn't here in Vegas, but how was that transition, man? You coming from Uganda and to living now? I think you've been out here in Vegas for what, 4 years, 5 years now. How was that transition of coming from Uganda to now living in the Sin City of Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah, when I moved here, I adopted, they showed me love, Jimmy, they showed me love, and people here, were good to me. It was a welcoming place to me, and I adapted to it really, really quickly, and people in boxing, they were good to me. And thank God, he introduced me to such a great team and good people here in Vegas.
Now, working your way up in there, has it been, 4 years, about 4 years, 23 fights? I'd say that's pretty good, man. Not a lot of guys get an opportunity to, get that many fights in such a short time, and you're already being considered sometime in the future to get a crack at a world title. What do you attribute that to, man? I mean, you've had you had a pretty blessed career up until this point.
Oh yeah, I'm really thankful to God and my team. They've been doing a great job of getting me fights, but on the other side, I've been fighting real warriors because, all the guys, starting from my pro debut, all the guys I've been fighting, they've been tough, because they used to find me, they used to find out who I was, and guys used to back down. So all the guys who took my fights were great. I consider them great warriors because, I haven't had any easy fight in my career.
Yeah, and you mentioned this right now, up until, you worked your way up. I think you maybe got to like your 18th, 19th fight, but you signed a promotional contract with Golden Boy Promotions. How did that all work out? How did that all come about?
Man, God is God. He does his thing. He does things in different ways, because, God answered mostly all my prayers, One day, I used to pray, oh God, maybe one day, I could get hooked up with guys, big promoters in the United States. And, thanks to my team, they connected me to Golden Boy, and that was a blessing to me. And Golden Boy is going to put me on top. And, just have, to stay positive and stay strong and training. And I leave the rest to Golden Boy.
With your successful career, Sharif, I know one thing is you take boxing serious. I see you at every fight. You are basically, if there's a fight in Las Vegas, you're there. You study it. I think that's all you know. But besides boxing, Sharif, what other type of activities do you get yourself involved in when you're not training or you're not fighting inside the ring?
Man, boxing, I would say I'm addicted to boxing, brother. I'm not only a fighter, but I'm a fan of boxing too. apart from boxing, I like to be with my son most of the time, spend time with my son. And, I like to go, and teach some other kids, go to different gyms, go help up little kids. I like to go in these different gyms, like, East Las Vegas. I teach them a little bit. But, yeah, that's mostly what I do most of the time.
That's great.
When I'm off, when I'm off season, I'll say that.
No, and you know what? And that's what I got to give you, much respect to, man. I mean, you're a family guy, and you're very, you said family-oriented and, career-oriented. And I got to give you a lot of respect out here because, and I know you've seen this, you've made a lot of friends and a lot of fighters, met a lot of fighters inside the gym. They get caught up in Las Vegas. There's a lot of bad stuff here. There's women, there's drinking, there's alcohol, drugs. A lot of them get caught up and they forget about what their main purpose, the main plan that God has set for them, and they fall out. I mean, you've seen it before, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's true, Frank. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of them. For sure.
Now, you going in like this. You're on an excellent winning streak, and then you mentioned this like this right here, man. I don't think. Let me look down because I'm looking at your record right now. I think you fought just three guys that had a losing record, if I'm not mistaken. And up to this point, you fought a 10-1 guy, a 40-7, a guy with 40 wins. That's a lot of records, man. I mean, this is a decent resume that you're building up for yourself.
Oh, yeah, I've been there, with guys, like my pro debut, I fought a guy, he had like 60 fights, even if he was like on a losing streak, but, that guy, he had much experience, he had like 60 fights, and that was like my first fight. But, the experience I had in amateurs, that was a good upbringing, that was a good upbringing for me.
And that's good. A lot of fighters get babied on their way up. I've seen you progress. And I got to ask you like this, man. You're in a really solid division. Lightweight is where you're going to stay, right? At this point, you move down. You're at lightweight, 135, correct?
Oh yeah. I'm planning, to get maybe like a title, in 135, then move up to 140. Because, for me, I got this belief, there's everywhere it's boxing, anywhere, in back in the day, we used to have this saying back in Uganda. We were like, like a guy who weighs like 100 pounds, he can still knock you out even if you're like 160 pounds. So I'm not scared of anybody. Like, I would say that, I'm not scared of anybody if it's the right time and the right place, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying by that. No,
I know it. You're a fighter. You'll fight anybody, and I
get
that.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime, any place. And and Sharif, I respect that. I respect that. I respect you as a person, and I respect you as a fighter, and I always have.
That's
you're
right. You can be like, hey, we got this guy's 140 champion. When I'm fighting for world title, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm ready, man. I was born a fighter. You know me, Frank.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, and that's why I wanted to kind of get into it. 135 pounds at lightweight division. I don't think there's many guys, in between you and a title shot. And I'm talking about, some of the guys that have titles right now. You have Miguel Vasquez, who many consider the top guy at 135 pounds. Now that Juan Manuel Marquez is no longer there, and you got a guy like Ricky Burns out in the United Kingdom. He has a belt. You have Antonio DeMarco. He has a belt. You got Hank Lundy in Philly. I'd say it's another guy right there. A lot of people, especially on this radio show, we've had a lot of experts talking about the lightweight division. A lot of people want to see you fight Hank Lundy. Maybe to win, in an eliminator, a mandatory fight. But I got to get your thoughts on that. I mean, which one of these guys that are up there that has a belt or that is in your past?
So, yeah, as I said a little bit earlier, anybody that bring in my face, brother, I'll fight it, But right now we're looking on those top guys. We're looking on guys like Antonio DeMarco, Miguel Vasquez, Ricky Burns. I would like to fight one. Right now I'm ready for a title. I've been You know, I got more experience now to fight these guys. I'm not, you know, how could I put it together? Yeah, I don't want to, you know, come back and fight these little fights right now. You know, I'm ready for the big fights right now, fine.
No,
and I'm ready. And I think, you know, I don't think I'll beat those guys. You know, I'll beat those guys easy.
Sharif, I think you could too. And I say, I guess one thing about you is, you know, you have more, you know, you have all the talent in the world, and you also have charisma and personality. And I think that's one thing that makes you stand out from the rest. I mean, for one, you're dazzling inside the ring. You have sensational skill inside the ring. It's entertaining. We want to watch it. But also, when you come to the ring, you know, you have your handlers that hold your cage. You have the girl in the sexy outfit singing your song. People like that, you know, and that's the one thing that people can't forget. I mean, where did that all come from? Where did your energy come from?
Well, you know, boxing these days, you know, it's like going to school. Like when we go to school, for example, you know, a kid in first grade, they're gonna teach him the same thing every year. You know, new kids are gonna teach him the same thing that they taught the other kids that moved up to the second grade. So for us, you know, me, my manager, you know, my team, we thought about something, you know, something different, you know, something exciting, something that could excite people, you know, something that could remember you about. And we were like, you know, Jimmy saw the way I was fighting and was like, man, so if you fight like a lion, you know, and you're from Africa, we gotta find something, you know. Maybe, you know, something that people could remember who you were. And that's where we came with an idea of a lion. And people tend to, you know, to go crazy about it whenever we come out of the dressing room, head into the ring. Some people even run out of the stadium. They think that's a real lion because I think it's a little bit scary, you know.
And I can mention now, where did you get the lion at? Where did you get the lion skin at?
We bought a lion in Africa.
You didn't kill it. You know, I have friends now, Sharif. I have friends in Africa, and I tease them. You know, I tease them. I say, you know, we got to go outside and watch before we cross the street because, you know, you get hit by a car. There's crazy drivers. People can't drive in Las Vegas. But I joke around with my friend, and I said to him, I know out there in Nigeria, you got to be careful because you go up to across the street, a lion will get you. And it's a joke. I mean, no disrespect. But was it like that? Was that like that? I mean, could you walk somewhere far? I mean, I know it's in the city, Uganda, you know, big cities and stuff like that, and that's all joke stuff like that. But have you ever seen, you know, a real-life, undomesticated lion in person?
Oh, yeah. Back in the village, you know, we got a city, like, you know, when the city never going to find the animal, you know. Yeah. Matter of fact, when I was a little boy, my uncle, you know, he passed away, he passed away like 2 years ago. When we were young, I was a little boy, like 4 years. We used to go, I remember I used to carry a spear. We'd go in the jungle, and we start hunting with the dogs, you know, hunting dogs. And we go so we could see all kind of different animals, you know.
You see, and I tell you like this, Sharif, anybody I've ever talked to from, you know, Africa or Uganda, they just want to come here because it's, you know, it's different and there's a lot of the hardship and bad stuff that happens there. But, you know, you mentioned some stuff like that. That's one of them things that I would cherish. I've never had the opportunity to, you know, interact, go to a jungle. I mean, the only time I've ever seen, you know, a country that wasn't really developed is I fought in war. You know what I mean? And really, you don't get an opportunity when you fight war to soak in and see, you know, the scenes of a different country that you're in. But, you know, you're here now. What's up next, man? What is Golden Boy? What does your team have in store for you? Anything, or are you just waiting for the phone call?
Right now, I just had a news. They told me some news about 2 days ago that I was scheduled to fight on the 28th of July in San Jose on the undercard of
Robert Guerrero?
Yeah, Robert Guerrero, yeah, on Showtime.
So what do you think? Let me get your thoughts on some of this stuff, Sharif. What do you think? You know, Golden Boy's putting together some solid fights. you know, and then, you know, they prematurely they put Victor Ortiz against Canelo on the 15th, but he still has to beat Josecito Lopez this Saturday. And then all of a sudden, Top Rank is saying Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is going to fight Sergio Martinez on the same day right down the street on the Vegas Strip, man. I mean, what are your thoughts on some of that? Is that good or bad business?
Bro, you know, this is business, brother, you know. And I really have nothing to say about that. You know, those are promoters, you know, and I don't know. Maybe they would have because those are two big mega fights, you know, people want to watch, you know, because those are two upcoming Mexicans, you know, everybody knows them and everybody loves them, you know. I think, you know, my suggestion about that, maybe, you know, another fight, you know, they could maybe postpone another fight to another date. Probably that would be better for business. They would make more money than, you know, competing on the same day.
Well, and they're both pay-per-views. Sharif, let me ask you this. I know you have a lot of friends in boxing. You know, you interact with a lot of fighters and stuff like that. But besides a fighter that you know personally, who's a fighter out there that you can say that you're a fan of that's actually competing right now, that you're not friends with, that you're actually a fan of, that you will watch them fight?
This Cuban guy, Rendegoff.
Guillermo Rendegoff.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce his name, Rendegoff. I call that guy the master, you know. That guy, he knows what he does in the ring. Go footwork, go power, good technique. I love that guy, the way he fights, man.
I know he's
not that exciting, you know. People, they want to see war, but you know, he's a technician, you know. He's a technician, you know. He takes his time and he knows how to win the rounds.
Accuracy, and I tell everybody on this show, Sharif, I've been a boxing fan for 20 years, and I've never seen somebody with such great accuracy. And you know, with the CompuBox, how they tell you, you know, oh, he hit in this certain percentage. This guy knows where to hit and get you. And you know what? I gotta agree with you. You know, these Cuban guys are coming out strong.
I call that guy the master. You know, whenever I see him and he doesn't speak English, but I'll be like, hey, tell him I said he's the master. You know, because you know, a lot of fighters these days, they're not like him. You know, that to be honest with you.
No, and he is. And you get it like this. And you know, Sharif, that's one thing I tell everybody on here. It's Cuba, him, Gamboa, Erislandy Lara, those guys, those Cuban fighters, they're coming on strong and they're doing big things. Mm-hmm. Sharif, we're going to close this out, man. Obviously, at Sharif Bogere on Twitter, you have you got your account verified. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. I'm thankful to Twitter, you know, for verifying my account, you know, with God and Ball, with everything they're doing for me, plus my team.
I mean, you know what, Sharif, that's the one thing. You know, you come out to the United States, and, you know, Twitter is real big, man. I mean, that officially made you a superstar. So, you know, congratulations, man. The only thing you need now is a world title.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, I'm just praying to God and waiting for my moment to come.
Now, Sharif, I got to ask you this, too, man. You've always been humble. You know, I consider you one of the best fighters in the world, man. I mean, you just haven't had your opportunity to get a title shot yet.
Thank you, brother.
That's my pleasure, man. I call it how I see it. But when you win a world title, are you going to change? Are you going to turn into a Money Sharif afterwards? And
hey, brother, you know, I'm from a different country. You know, I was raised differently. You know, if I was to change, brother, I think right now I'd have already changed, you know. But, you know, nothing, you know, we're equal. We people, we're equal, you know. It's like poor being poor and being a millionaire, you know. It doesn't matter even if tomorrow I become a billionaire. I'm going to see you as Frank, you know. I'm going to still come see what's up, brother, you know. How's everything going? You know, I got that equality, you know. I treat people the same, you know. I'll be this. You know, bottom line, you never see me changing fine. Just mark my word. Just mark my word. You know, just mark my word.
Well, Sharif, if I ever get $1 billion, a lot of money, I might change a little bit, but I'm gonna hook my boy, the Lion, up. I'm gonna hook you up, dude. Don't worry.
Oh no, Paul. Let's just pray. Let's just pray one day. You know, you never know. You know, life. You know, every day is a different day. You never know.
No, you're right. I'm grateful, man. You know, same as you, man. I love my family, my children. And Sharif, bro, we appreciate your time, man. We're actually closing down the show. Do you want to send a message out there, man? I mean, we're listened all around the world, man. So tomorrow we're gonna let people hear the replay of this show. Maybe we get out to some of the listeners in Uganda or anywhere, United Kingdom, Australia. You got a shout out? You got anything you want to finally say to the boxing fans?
Oh, sure, of course. You know, first of all, you know, I'm going to have to thank you, Frank, you know, and the team for giving me this opportunity. You know, not everybody gets this chance. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to thank all my fans all over the world. I appreciate all the support you're showing. God bless you all. And boxing, you know, you guys, boxing, there's nothing like boxing. Support our sport. It's exciting, lots of actions, you know. And I'd like to thank Golden Boy for everything they've done for me, Jimmy, Alex, Ralph, Ken Adams. You know, Ken Adams is the best trainer out there. You know, people underestimate Kenny, but, hey, that old man, he knows what he does.
Got that right.
Yeah, and lastly, everybody follow me on Twitter at Sharif Bogere. Thank you so much, Frank.
Sharif, we'll get you back on the show real soon, man. As soon as we find out who your next fight is and your opponent, man, we'll get you back on the show if you don't mind.
For sure, Frank. I'll be so happy.
Sounds good, brother. Hey, man, appreciate your time, bro. God bless you, man.
All right, you too, guys.
Take care.
All right, bye. Thank you, guys.
All right, there you have it. Sharif Bogere, one of the nicest guys I met out here. And, you know, as far as boxing goes, Tim, he, you know, always, anytime I see him at the fights, man, always warm greeting. And I mean, I guess this guy has the potential to be, and you know, one of the top guys in the industry, period. And you know, the way if he keeps going, you know, he has the goods, man.
Well, it's funny how good of a guy he is, actually. Like, remember when we brought our